Welcome to Brightly, You Radiant Being, the show that wildly recognizes, encourages, and invests in the radiance we all carry so you can shine your brightest. Each episode, we share soul driven advice and topics to help you live more brightly in mind, body, and spirit. Through sharing our experiences, friendship, and passions, we hope to impact you to step more brightly into yourself inch by inch.
Hey there, Tracy.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I am doing very well. I am. How are you?
Wait, go back. Only very well. Less than 24 hours ago, madam, I asked how you are, and you said feeling exceptional.
I did say that, didn't I? Okay, I guess I
Because
do
you
still feel
also
it.
look exceptional right now.
Well, thank you. And for anyone who's listening and not watching, Ms. Tracy looks exceptional as well.
I want to thank you. I want to go back though. You were feeling exceptional. And I was feeling radiant. Like, what were we on yesterday? Damn. Like, our thesaurus was like
and radiant. Wow. If only we could bottle that.
Well, so it stayed with me. It's now a core memory because I wasn't really feeling the most of radiant in the days prior to that.
Yeah.
And granted, I had a cold. I was sick. But even lately, I've been like trying to wonder where my fire went. And when I was like kind of doing some self-reflection, like you're not sick anymore. What you doing in life? Like it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It was Thursday. I meant to tell everybody I'm changing that. It's Thursday. You're doing so good.
I like I think we can use both.
We're gonna do both.
We get to use both.
We're doing
I like that.
Yeah, we're doing both. It really depends where we are in the world. Our experiences that day as a human. But no, so I realized in having a little chit chat with myself, I was like, oh, you lost your Moxie.
Oh,
you can't blame that on a cold. And so I want to start with, Moxie is a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But to me, the biggest thing around Moxie is that's like pep, spunk, energy, vitality. Would you agree? Like that's a huge part of it.
Absolutely. I think it goes a little deeper than that. It's almost a little bit of there's a little twinkle, like a little, not an evil twinkle, but like a little twinkle in the eye. That's
twinkles can be evil.
Yes.
Wait,
yes.
That new episode.
They can be evil. I think of Moxie as also like, I'm going to do this thing no matter what anybody tells me.
Yes. There's a boldness to it.
Yes.
And so, where Moxie for me isn't just energy, where it's not just like, oh, you've just been tired, or like, here's reasons, like eat your greens and like have caffeine. Like that's not the energy I'm talking about. I'm like that je ne sais quoi, that spark for life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I do have a twinkle in my eye at times, and I'm not
evil.
Not evil. Well, and I'm not saying I'm considering ending it, but just like that natural excitement and exuberance, and like, where did it go? And so I was wondering, like, where do you get? Because when I think of Moxie, I think of Amy, and yeah. So I was wondering, Amy, where do you get your Moxie from?
Wow. I feel like my Moxie is courtesy of my mother. I honestly feel like that was just like ingrained in me. And so
it was taught.
It was taught.
It was not genetic.
And it was modeled. It was modeled, right? Because I saw it in her as well. Now, have I lost it over the years? Absolutely. But I feel like I can dig deep and I feel like, wow, I didn't know I was going to get this question. I feel like there's something inside of me that's like, no, you will be like this. This is how you want to be. You need to, and maybe there's also a need in myself to model it for my children, right? My grown ass children. my granddaughter, my friend.
Well, because Moxie isn't necessarily positivity, and you do
No.
more towards optimism and positivity. And we've
Mhm.
talked about in prior episodes that like some people presume that people who have those moodlets about them out in public aren't going through hard things. And you've talked a lot about how it's been a choice, right? Like you put
Yeah.
effort behind it. But to
Yeah.
me, Moxie's just like that little bit of something different, that little.
So I feel like I will do things like I'll just make up my mind to do something and then I just do it. And it might fail horribly, or it might just be mediocre. And then I try it again. Like, I'm just like, no, I'm doing this. I feel like doing this. I feel like creating TikToks and just throwing them out there. Like, to me, that feels like it's my moxie coming out.
So it's not impulsive. It's not about being impulsive necessarily. It's still a choice and a decision. It's not just like a thought popped into your head and you took an action. It's more like, I want to do this thing. And so this fits in with my goals and my intentions and
Yeah.
everything I'm building for myself. So what is Moxie to you then? You know, I talked a little bit about a few areas, but
yeah,
like what
I agree with that. I love the vitality aspect of that. And so I love that. I love the energy. And then, like I said, that sort of almost daring that I think of, oh, what's that? What is that cool acorn mystery show? The mysteries of Miss Fisher Mysteries. And it's set like in the 20s in Australia. And she's got the black hair and a bob, and she wears the really fancy clothes. And she's an airline. She flies her own plane, and she's always getting into trouble and sticking her nose in to mysteries because she's going to help her friend. And of course, there's the handsome detective, you know, who they butt heads. But Miss Fisher has moxie.
I do think of the flapper era, the 20s and 30s, when I think of the word moxie. So I have to, you know, the Mae West of it all, a lot of moxie.
Yeah. So I was thinking of Mae West today on my walk with moxie. I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because so much of moxie is kind of also like sticking it to the man, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we're just also kind of in that era right now ourselves of like just kind of like looking at things culturally, gender roles, job, you know, just different things that are going on with the government or law enforcement, things like that. And we have this new generation of people that I would definitely call Gen Z. They got moxie, right? Like they won't make a phone call to schedule a doctor's appointment on their own, but they will get in a cop's face if they're doing something inappropriate.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little bit of moxie. Whereas I'll make the phone call and I'll consider helping out, but I don't know if I could blanket statement my entire generation as saying we have moxie. I'd like to be a part of that. But yeah, so for me, I feel like I have enough of that internal spark where I will do the daring and the bold things, the buy a house without ever having considered it before, switching jobs, applying for things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, asking someone out. That I'll have moments of moxie, but like I used to, my 20s is just walking around with so much moxie I could tell I was pissing people off with it, right? That like people who would never have moxie in their life really have a problem with people with moxie.
But maybe there does come a point where there's too much moxie, and now you're using more discernment with your moxie. Because I could see, are you thinking that you want more?
I got no spunk, Amy. I got no that vitality is gone. And so before with my moxie, before I lost it, it just happened. Whereas like now I feel like I have to drum it up. Right.
Okay. So maybe what you need is a vacation to Jamaica, and it would coincide specific. Like,
is there an airline?
Yeah, how Stella got her groove back.
This isn't my eat, pray, love move era. This is my Stella get your groove back era.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Amy, everything turns red in the sun. I don't know if Jamaica is for me. They have a tree in Key West that they call the Caucasian tree because it just turns red and peels in the sun when it hits it. And then the guy looks at me and goes, like her.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be Jamaica. I'm just saying.
However, if anybody wants to sponsor me getting my Moxie back, I'll go.
I'm actually serious about this, that maybe you need a complete change of scenery for something.
So that's just it with me lately, though. When I change my scenery, I am still very much me more than ever.
Well, but if you're me, then okay, I'm confused. You're the me without Moxie?
Yes.
Okay.
Just me. Like I'm a Sagittarius rising. And so I will definitely be spontaneous and adventurous and go and do fun things.
Actually, I think you do that more than I do.
But you do it in moments, right? Like I'll do the big event. I'll do the book a flight to Paris with $100 in my wallet, right? I'll do that. But then when I'm there, I'm incredibly practical and Virgo and organized and calm. And like, here's my itinerary, right? You're the opposite. You will go there and you'll be, I have a sister that you remind me of, that she was in Costa Rica, I want to say, or somewhere in Central America. And there were sinkholes and floods and planes getting canceled and like no cell service. And my mom, I mean, this girl's in her early 20s. She's in it's a college trip, right? Late teens, early 20s. She's an adult, right? She got herself there. She should get herself back with her group. My mom's up here trying to figure out what to do or whatever. And this is the part that reminds me of you, she's salsa dancing in this flooded street, losing shoes and tweeting about it, right? Like she's just living her life while she's down there. And I think I would have been back in the room being like, you guys, like, we're going to need shoes when the roads open up. Right? Like that's where I'd like to have my Moxie in life. Like my Moxie with my Virgo-ness would get us the F home, right? Like we would get home safely and cheaply and we would be organized and we'd be all together.
So what's wrong with that?
It's not very fun.
Okay, Tracy, I think
she's home, Amy. You have met her. This woman has babies.
Yes. But I think that you need to maybe consider different aspects of Moxie, different ways Moxie can show up. And maybe Moxie is different for you than it is for me. Maybe it shows up differently. However, I have a question for you.
Is this going to be one of those shows where I have to listen to it to learn my lesson?
I'm going to make you listen to it. So have you felt like you've lost it before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How did you feel like you actually got it back?
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. Okay. So a huge driver for it was the big sweeping changes that, I started grad school or I moved or a new job. And then there's this excitement, things that come with it. And so part of it for me right now is it's just settling into a different era of life. Like, and, kind of a post-pandemic kind of lifestyle. Like we did just come out of 2 years of hibernation and living alone in solitude. But it's also,
life is not linear. We know that.
This is far less fun. Like, so you and I, we talk about not just Moxie, but like being moxious, right? Like we turned it into a verb. I don't know what's before this. But like, I'm feeling less moxious than usual, and I'm lacking the energy to drum it up as I have in the past.
So you need help. You need a Moxie partner.
Ooh, yeah. Can we do this shit in tandem?
Yes. Yes.
Where do I get my Moxie mentor? Yeah. Where do I get my buddy to come and have Margarita Fridays with? Like, let's go.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hello. So, like, yeah, I'm just wondering, like, how, if you're feeling less moxious than usual, if you have far less Moxie in your life, how have you had those areas in your life? Like, how do you handle it? How do you do it without? Like, and how did you get it back?
So I feel like the times that I didn't have it, it was for very, not necessarily specific reasons, but our lives ebb and flow, right? we have different seasons, we go through different periods of our life. And sometimes I feel like when I haven't had it, I was okay with that. I surrendered into not having it because maybe it was a time that it was better not to have it. Maybe it was a time of rest. Maybe it was a time of introspection, right?
Oh God, you sound like my tarot cards.
I am your tarot cards.
I do. So it's not what I want to hear, but it is helpful. So if you can see me on YouTube, sorry, Amy, like I just like this probably isn't the face of somebody who's appreciative of what she's hearing, but it's because I'm hearing it from a lot of areas and it's not what I want to do. It's
it doesn't mean you can't, it doesn't mean you can't switch it up and actually then have moments of it. Just because your life isn't completely moxious, full of Moxie, doesn't mean you can't have little pockets of it. You can have little pop-up Moxie events, right?
Pocket of Moxie. Pocket of Moxie. So I definitely subscribe to the idea of do what you can with where you are, with what you have.
Yeah.
But also, I want to make it different. I want to control, right? Like, so what are, like, I'm so stuck in the thought, like, do people with Moxie think about whether, like, how they're going to have Moxie that day? Or is it just a part of it also their personality? Like, when my favorite story of someone with Moxie is, was it one of the Roosevelt's president's daughters? And how she'd like smoke on the roof and like crash White House parties. Like, I mean, the 30s were a much different era.
I'm pretty sure she didn't think, how can I ruin my parents' day today? She was just like, this is what I feel like doing.
This particular president, I'm pretty sure it was his favorite child. So this president also had Moxie.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering too, like, I just have less opportunities to maybe just be my moxious self.
Oh,
right?
You know what? I think that is yes, that is so on point right now, because as we keep stressing, we're like, and we keep saying we're just coming out of a pandemic, but we're really not even out of it. We're still in it.
I'm trying to make this podcast a safe space for people who are just over it, right?
Yes,
but
exactly.
It's not done.
But life is just different, right? Yeah. And so the other thing too is it's almost like this muscle memory. And I know we've talked about this before, where for so long haven't been doing anything, haven't been going out on a limb, haven't been, experimenting with things, that then it's almost feels like it doesn't feel normal or easy. It feels sort of jagged and sloppy and jittery to try and do these things. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be this smooth transition into Moxie. You're going to have to just and just try things, right?
I think that's as much as I love working from home and getting, as an introvert, getting to conserve my energy, right? So that I can get my work done and do great work and talk to who I need to, but then I have energy to hang out with the people that I want to spend my time with or that I'm choosing to, right? Whereas before, so much of my energy was spent on people, just the day-to-day interactions, walking the skyway, saying, running into each other, cubicle life, all that kind of stuff. And then I'd come home and I didn't have the vitality to talk to anybody after work, right? Because it was all going to the office. But I feel like the people around us spark our Moxie in a sense, right? Like there are different connections. And so whether you're sticking it to the man and that's the spark, right? Or it's just the other people around you, like it's vibrational, right? Like,
well, yeah, you feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And I don't mean, you know what I mean? Yes. Like you said, vibrational. So you're going to pick up on somebody else, or our idea might spark between the two of you or something.
Well,
so there's more
fire catches, right? It's like you and I get together, especially in person. I mean, we do it sometimes here on the show, but like, one of us gets going, then the other one, and then the other one, and we just keep going and going and keep sparking until a full-blown flame has erupted. Whereas like right now I do, like, if you listen to our last episode on, people who might be dating or looking for love or hoping to be found. And like, I have a friend I call to be my social lubricant. Like if I haven't talked to anybody out loud that day, or if I've only talked to people about work, I have a pre-date over the phone. I prefer in person, but over the phone with her to warm me up. She's right. It's
Actually, I think it's brilliant.
It's my
Tracy.
opening act for my comedy show or something.
My opening act. But it's a brilliant idea to do that, because if you haven't talked to anyone that day, especially on a personal level, once again, it's like muscle memory. You're like, I don't know what to say to this person. Well, I'm gonna say something awkward. I don't know.
Yeah, and I want to be my most moxious self. Because I feel like that spark is what shows people who I am, right? And that's the funnest Tracy to be around.
I mean, it's frankly, from my perspective, you're showing it now. You're exuding it now.
Yeah, but then the show is done and it's just me and my cat.
Well, do you think when the show is done, I'm out here like dancing a jig or something? No.
Yeah, you and Rick like have a playlist for when you bless your house. Yeah, I do think
we do.
And also, I've seen your pink-haired tarot card readings on Instagram and TikTok. You are absolutely, there's one of my all-time favorite TikToks that I fully regret. I don't even think you were in the app yet. And I regret not saving it because it made me think of you, is this guy comes home from work and he can just already tell. And he's the same demographic as you and Rick, right? So he comes home from work and he can just tell, like, that's why he starts recording. He knows he's going to find something fun and he wants to capture it. So sure enough, lights are going off. It's like a dance club rave in his house. And he walks in the back door and he is in the kitchen and you can hear music and it's just vibing and you hear laughter and it's just one woman. And so he turns the corner and there is this woman in her mid to late 60s in full-blown fairy wings, dressed like for a rave, dancing on top of the coffee table, just like fully vibing, like, hey, I didn't realize you were going to be home. Like that was going to be her evening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be all in on that. Yeah.
And that's not how I live alone.
Wait, you don't dance alone?
Oh, I dance, but not on my coffee table with fairy wings and a rave. Like,
well, if I had fairy wings, I'd wear fairy wings. I have crowns that I wear, though. I have tiaras that I wear. I have
that's my point.
steampunk cat ears that I wear. Well, just get the props. You need some props. You need some Moxie.
The Moxie, Amy. It's not the prop. I don't think if I put the outfit on. Do you think if I put the outfit on, the Moxie would come? Is that how?
Yes.
Is that what I'm missing?
Fake it till you make it. Yes.
Oh, this sounds a lot like method acting, and I am not a fan of that.
Okay. Well, I actually am a fan of it to a certain extent, because I believe that you can act and this was in one of our first few episodes. I
don't listen to my own advice. We would both have like 10 books published right now. Okay. We actually listen to this podcast as we say it. I mean, dig, we're human. That's my point. That's why I like the people that listen to this show, right? Like,
we are not human.
Purporting to be like these motivational speakers that have these perfect lives, but are actually like drug addicts and like, sleeping around on their wives on the side, right? Like,
who's that? Don't name me.
Oh yeah, because we're in that circle. They're really gonna find
right. But here's what I want to say, because I feel like I may not be living I may not have like location freedom and time freedom. I'm not an entrepreneur and I haven't written a book. I have been published in a book though. It's a short chapter in a book. But besides that, I feel like I am doing well in my life for the most part. So I think that if there are some days I'm not feeling it, and if I need to be feeling it, you bet I start acting like it. You bet I'm just like, yes, I turn on something that will really pump me up, and that does it for me. It's like osmosis. It's like Moxie osmosis.
You found your cues for your external motivators.
Yes.
So music is a big one for you.
Yes.
And I feel like I've exhausted my known external motivators.
Okay, I'm going to send you something and it's not music.
Oh, okay.
And if I can think of it. Maybe we can put it, we never do it though in the show notes. I'll put it on Instagram.
In a story.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem right now is I think I didn't notice how much I was faking it to make it, right? Until I burned it out.
Oh, so wait, so you never actually made it? You just kept faking it?
Well, at some point I made it and then I lost it and then I was faking it.
Okay.
Because I do like that. I mean, all the, Amy Poehler's and Tina Fey's and all that, there's certain areas of your life where, yeah, if you fake it, it will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're genuinely and authentically, doing the things in the background to support, you're faking it. So, the meditations or the, eating well or talking to friends and stuff like that, eventually, like you said, peaks and valleys, like things will come back around.
Yeah.
I think so. One of the things about Moxie is adventure, and I'm wondering if maybe other people can relate to this too. Starting new things for me is an adventure, and a lot of people avoid those types of adventures, right? Whereas I'm like, new job, cool, totally new employer, all right, I got this.
Oh yeah,
some people would never, right? And I'm just like, that's where my Sagittarius comes out, right?
Yeah.
And I think right now I like my job. Not that I'm adverse to change if it were to happen or if an amazing opportunity were to come up, but I'm not seeking it. And normally this is the number of years I've been in my current role where I would be.
Yeah.
And then, between the pandemic and my own financial and health stuff, like I just don't have anything in front of me that to spark that adventure, right? To be excited about. So maybe I need to look for adventure, create adventure.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't need to spend money to be adventurous, to go on an adventure. Well, I feel like you need to look at
you were sending
adventures.
me to Jamaica a little bit ago.
Well,
like,
yeah, I was.
Tiny adventure I can do for free.
Well, what if a tiny adventure was going to a part of, I don't know, the Twin Cities or some other place that you hadn't been for and actually walk the downtown and just see the sights. And I'm not saying that that would be a great adventure, but it would be an adventure. It's something just to like get you out of like and I also don't want to say rut, but I'm going to
routine.
The routine that you're in right now. So there can be tiny adventures. You can go to, let's see, I'm just trying to think. I went to I'm going to just finish this thought. I went to it was a Chinese store that they sold packaged goods and fresh meat and mushrooms and all kinds of things. And there were things in there. There was like a huge apothecary chest with all these herbs, and it was all written in Chinese. And of course it was like, what? This is so cool. But I explored that store for probably, I don't know, half an hour. And that was like an adventure to me.
Ooh. So another part about Moxie, so we've talked about boldness, and then with some of it, it's about courage too. So when it comes to like these tiny adventures or like living outside your comfort zone or trying something new, there's a new affirmation I have that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And it's a fill in the blank one. So hopefully this will help anybody out there who also wants to either find their Moxie, create Moxie, enliven, broaden. But it's, I call up the courage to, and then you fill in that blank.
And something that I'm just going to remind everyone of very quickly is that courage, the core of core means heart.
It does.
And just remember that if it's like courage is just like, this is in my heart to do this, right? And if it's something I really want to do, I can call up this heart strength in order to do it.
I I love that. Thank you. So I'd be remiss if we didn't say at least once before ending. Sometimes some of these things that I shared and like feeling like you don't have your moxie and like maybe you're like me when Amy's giving ideas and you're like, oh God, but I do that. I do that. So it could be depression, right? So like pay attention to signs, make sure that you're connected and that you're taken care of. And for me, therapy is a hobby. I love it. So I definitely
Therapy should be a hobby for everyone.
For everybody. That's how it started. Was my idea around it. So I feel like I've explored that avenue of it, and it just feels like a spark is missing. So I love these ideas you've given me, Amy, but everyone else, if you've been doing this stuff and you're still not feeling the spark, please don't hesitate to find external help, because sometimes you do just need a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But if this episode spoke to your soul, please share it with a friend. And if you have time, give us some love on your preferred platform with a rate, review, and subscribe. You can also reach out to us via Instagram and YouTube under The Brightly Podcast, or via email at brightlypodcast@gmail.com.
And with that, we hope you have a bright and beautiful and perhaps a moxious day.